Man, it be by the skin of my teeth that I even log on. Alright, I'm hearing echoes. Young echo. Got it. Like, dangerously behind right now. I need to turn this floodlight off real quick. Magic. All right. Let's see if we can start this thing. We're gonna transition in. We're gonna just do it. We got some really awesome stuff to go through today. It's gonna be a short stream. It ain't gonna be that long. We're gonna try and get a nice couple hours in until I feel like till I feel accomplished. I'm so ashy. I like just ran out the shower, air dried. We did some really dope stuff the other day, y'all. Some of y'all might have seen the site. We gotta start chopping up some of these streams, because even if we don't chop up the streams, we gotta figure out something to do with this long form content. It gotta be a space for this. Dang. Welcome to the Junkyard. Okay? I am Combo Junkie, and this is another episode of Coding with Combo, where we use some of the most modern software on the market today to build something awesome, right? Something cool. If you've been here before, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And when I get signed, don't be saying y'all ain't hear me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard, y'all hear it. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to do something new, something different. Coding with a Combo Junkie. That's right. I hope you're having a good time. It is Friday up in this piece. So if you having a good time and you want some more of this content, make sure you hit those heart emojis. It goes a very, very, very long way. Hit up the other channels too, YouTube and the Twitches, where the convos really be popping. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right. With that out of the way, look at that. I'm like shiny. Like just got out the shower. All right. We got some stuff to discuss, okay? Some of y'all might have seen the new website, okay? That new Combo Junkie website on fleek right now. I'm real happy about it, obviously. It made me a happy camper, okay? It took a lot of work. I had to go dark for like 5 days or whatever. But thanks to all of the work that we've been doing on this stream, and just learning all of these technologies, it actually wasn't that bad. I did get stuck in a couple places, but it wasn't something I was willing to put on the stream. I wanted it to be organic. So, you know, that's kind of how that came to be. But what are we doing now, right? Let's recap this project, because it's actually been a while since we streamed, right? It's been like a week or something. So we probably are due for a nice little recap. All right, so let's do that. Let me head over to the browser. Let's make this a little bigger for y'all peoples. Get this up. Yeah, all right, let me just make sure these other things are up, and then let me move this out here. Sorry, I'm setting my stage. I know I'm behind. Don't judge me. Y'all don't know what I just did in less than an hour. All right, we got to talk about Vercel today, okay? Vercel is insane, and we are definitely gonna do some Vercel work today. But let's get out of KJP. That's a new project I started. Let's go back over to the Trend Junkie. And I'm gonna pull up the browser stage, because we need to talk about where we are. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Right? So where we left off was we were trying to move all of our elements into a single WYSIWYG editor, right? So, well, just to do the formal recap, we are building ourselves as a fun little project. We are building a news gaming website, similar to the IGN website, right? Where you have a concept of 3 content types in total, right? One of them is your main story content type, right? So you can actually tell a story in regular internet article form, and you can add elements to that story as you go in line, right? So you can imagine these are videos. You could say, I want to add a header and then a video, and then some paragraph text, and then another video, blah, blah, blah. So that's our story content type. We're also going to need a person content type, right? Because we need to know who wrote the story. Okay, so we'll have this concept of a person content type as well. You click on that person and you get a section front of all of that person's content, right? The stories that they either contributed to or created themselves. All right, and then last but not least, the last content type we need to look at, get out of my inbox, what is going on there? The last content type we need to look at is this concept of tags. So imagine you have a website with like thousands of stories. Well, you don't want all of that stuff to just sit on one page, right? You want to be able to organize it in such a way where you can dictate what stories show up on which section, right? So I may have a handful of Godzilla X Kong stories that I say, hey, all of those stories should show up. All of those stories should be tagged with this X Kong, Godzilla X Kong tag, right? So those are our three content types. We have the story content type. That story can be written by a person, and that story can be tagged with certain sections, right? So what we were up to, we have a pretty nice, well fleshed out web experience right now. Let's head over to the IDE. Let's actually start up our app and see where we are with that whole thing. I'm going to make this a little bigger. I think this was the ideal state. Let me know if you guys can see that or not. It looks fine to me, obviously, but it might need to be this big, actually. I'll leave it at this viewport, and then if this is too small or too big, folks will let me know. Okay, so we're going to start up our application, and it was just SA, right? Start app. And I'm actually going to change that. That has a weird ring to it in my mind. Instead of SA, I'm going to call it SAP, right? Start app. Okay, so we'll do SAP, and then we'll rebash this, and now SAP should take us to our home directory for our app, and it should start our app for us. So we'll go ahead and open that in the browser. Let me get the browser back open for you guys. 1 second. Gotta make this a little more user-friendly for myself here. Okay. We have a lot more stories now. When we were offline, I generated over 2,000 stories, I think, maybe even 3,000. So yeah, we have quite a few stories. So if we head back over to the browser, though, we can see here we have our website. And let's get this in. I think it was 150 was our ideal zoom for this. That's even a little big, but I think for the stream that'll suffice. But we have this. We have this website right now, and it's our gaming website. Obviously, this isn't gaming stories, but we have this home page here. We can click on any of these sections, right? These tags, and it'll take us to a section dedicated to just that tag that we clicked. So the stories here have to, in some way, be associated with this. So somewhere in their list of tags, because a story can be tagged with multiple tags, somewhere in that list of tags, the story had to have been tagged with this suspendo, sperno, sui tag, right? And then the same way with this viscous, ancilla, sonitas, these have to have in some way been tagged with that, right? We also added a feature that I am extremely proud of, which is our infinite scroll feature. That wasn't anything to sniff at. It was a challenge, but after we wrapped our heads around the concept of server versus client components, it was actually pretty easy. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to build the person section today, and we're going to wire everything up, and we're going to make it infinitely scroll, just like these. So I'm a little rusty when it comes to infinite scroll. It's been a while, but I think we'll be able to do it. Another thing I want to do today is I want to talk a little bit about this Vercel system. Vercel is it's basically a hosting service that does so much when it comes to hosting. It's like a built-in CI/CD pipeline for all your code deployment needs. It's really special, and I want to spend some time talking about it, but I don't think we're there yet. Okay, I personally don't feel like we are ready to take advantage of Vercel. Not yet. We need to at least get to a point where we have our story template done. And right now where we are is we have moved our elements inside of the Sanity Studio to a single WYSIWYG. Okay, and I think we're error-free as well. When we were last on stream, we had some errors that we were dealing with, but I believe we're error-free now. So I'll have to actually let's do that. Let's go start up the studio as well. And let's see where we are with that. I can't remember, to be honest, but I believe the last we committed code, or maybe this was it actually. Yeah, this looks like it was it. Yeah, this was part of the stream, right? This is where you guys left off where I staged those changes, but I wasn't ready to commit them because there were still errors being thrown. But I figured out what it was, though. I needed to extend. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. So I just started the app. Let's head over to the browser. Look at our studio. Project downgraded to free. Aww. Sanity kicked us out. Sanity kicked us out of the upgraded package. So now we're on the free plan, which is fine for us. We did look at the rate limitations and some of the things that we would have to, consider over time. We're not even remotely big enough to consider that right now. This is a simple test application. I don't know if it'll ever become something that starts to generate real traffic to the point where we have to worry about this thing. So I'm not going to worry about it. Let me make sure my cam's on. There we go. I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'm going to go ahead and say maybe later. Eventually, we will want to upgrade to a better package. For now, for what we're doing, this is perfect, okay? So we're going to collapse these two here. And now this is our editing experience, but check this out. When we click on story elements now, you can see that I can do inline things. Wait, I think I had a story I was working on. Oh, I had a story I was working on, but that doesn't exist anymore. I actually blew everything away and made a bunch of new content. However, you can see some of the tests that I was doing, right? So check this out. Obviously, this still needs some styling. This embed is too wide here. But you can kind of see this is like a inline video, right? And then this is an inline CTA that we just added ourselves. It's so neat. We got to figure out how to get this to look a little better. And I'll add that to today's to-do list. Actually, before we close this ticket out, we should do that. We should clean this up so that this embed is actually inside of this component here. Because remember, this is the UI. Oh, CJ, what's good, bro? What's good? Welcome to the Junkyard, bro. It's one of the oldest junkies in the book. Let's go. So we have to squeeze this in because remember, this is the UI, right? So this is going to have a different set of criteria than the front end experience, because all we really need is the YouTube URL. And if we click on this, I believe the way it works is you click on it, and now this is where we handle the metadata for this. So it's coding with combo, that's the title we have, and then the video URL. And then when we send this to the front end components, we'll be able to, attach different query parameters for width and height versus what we attach here at this level. So we're going to deal with that today, and I think that's it. I don't think we need to deal with anything else. We can close that ticket out after that. The biggest thing we're going to do today, I think, is we're going to try our best to completely finish the person page. All three of these tickets tonight. I think we can do it. I have until, I would say at the late end, I'm going to do 10 o'clock if it comes to it. But hopefully we can get this done a little sooner. I might have to drop off at 9:30 or something like that. We'll see. Depends on how the night's going, how I'm feeling. I might be feeling it, okay? I might be into it and not wanting to drop. I know one thing, though. I feel ashy. Am I ashy? Somebody, don't lie to me either just because we're streaming. I had that air dry effect from getting out the shower right before stream, and then the lights. I feel like the lights are not, they not helping to have the ashiness, bro. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. Let's get to work. My beautiful, beautiful junkies. So we know what we have to do. Let's start on that WYSIWYG thing that I just pulled off. That's gonna drive me nuts, and it's probably a really easy thing to solve. But basically what's happening is we have this container that I added, and I'm not a real expert at the React. What was it? I think it was React. What was it called? It was this thing right here, right? The text, those things. What are those? Oh, Sanity UI is what it's called. Sanity UI. So Sanity gives you out of the box this system, this kit of UI components, so that you can, you know, more easily prettify your UI. And we were just starting to get a handle on how they work. So this is our YouTube preview. I feel like this is too small. I mean, too big. That might actually be too small. I can't tell. Hang on, let me go to the IDE. Sorry, I was in the browser. Is that too small? That is kind of small. It's like you have to struggle to read it. All right, maybe it's just been so long since I've streamed that I forgot how big we were making this. All right, that's fine. That's fine. We can deal with that. But basically, this is what we're seeing right now is the code for that WYSIWYG YouTube embed, right? That inline block. So if we go back to Sanity, that's this, right? Where we have the title and then the video. So what we need to do right now is figure out if there's a way to contain this guy inside of this element, this block here. And there has to be, right? There's no way there wouldn't be. I actually believe if we take it out of the container that I put it in, that it'll like automatically work, which lets me know that it's just like a matter of us fixing that one bug. Oh, and that's another thing I will warn about. Debugging this is a bit of a hassle, because every time you make a change in code, you have to like refresh this experience that I'm doing right now. Like you have to come all the way back here, and it's annoying. But you see that? You see how now I'm contained? My YouTube element is contained. However, I don't want that title in there. Well, I do want the title in there, but I want it like a row above the YouTube player. So I think what's happening here is our YouTube component is like floating, whereas we want both of these to be one on top of the other, right? So this is where we have to put on our regular front end ninja hat, which you guys know I am not a fan of. And we have to figure out what's causing that, right? So what we did last time was we just started to play around with some of these elements, and like really trying to understand, like when you have these elements that you didn't create, that some other system created for you, it's actually hard to know like what controls what. So like what's putting the gray box around this is, I think, just our Sanity UI. The fact that it's the Sanity UI in general, I think, is putting the gray box, right? So then the question is, what is the element type in Sanity UI that will put coding with combo on a single row and let us censor it, right? That's the question, because right now it's like aligning these two things left. I want it to do something like this. So let's see what we did there. That took a while to figure out, this call to action. So we put it in a card. So we did nested cards, it looks like, where we had a inner card that was responsible for, I guess, the container. And then we had a stack. We had a single stack, and then put everything inside of that single stack. So that could be what we need to do here. And we saw we did have that in a sense, right? So maybe all we're missing is the card. Maybe if we, here, let's go back to the IDE. Maybe if we do this card, I'm genuinely guessing here at this point, but it looks like no matter what, we'll get the, wait, why do we have this and this? I don't think we need both of these. Hang on, let's go back to where we were. This is where we left off last week, right? So what I'm gonna try and do here is, think about this. I don't want to waste. Maybe we just need to move the YouTube player up, because I think that the DOM itself it might be fine. I think we actually have too much stuff in the DOM. Like, I don't think we need half of the stuff we have here. So what I'm gonna do is just take out what I know we need, which is I'm just gonna take this out for now. Okay, all this other stuff, as far as I'm concerned, I'll keep the URL test, but this stuff right here, I'm just gonna comment it out. Oh gee. So I'm gonna comment this stuff out. I'll paste in our YouTube. Oh my god, I've been working on a Mac all day and now I can't type. I hate when this happens. Alright, that looks better. We'll say for now we're just gonna only grab the things that we need. We'll comment out the stack and we'll see what we're left with. Alright. For some reason we put all of this in flex. I guess because we wanted to center that element. Maybe we're doing that on all. No, we didn't do that here. We shouldn't do that. Basically, all of our inline elements should share the exact same structure, I think. If we can do it, right? So right now, this is very bloated. I don't think we need half of the stuff we have here. But let's see what we get from just... Actually, I'm going to get rid of the outer flex container as well. That's another thing that I don't know if we need. So we can probably move this up. And where is that? There it is. We can move that down now. So this ends that. That's this. That looks. Sorry, just doing some formatting now. Get rid of this too. Alright, so we do have our open and close, and we do have that wrapped. Maybe it doesn't like the way this is. I thought I'd be able to do this. That's kind of silly if they're forcing me to have, yeah, they're forcing me to contain it inside of the nuances of React. Some of this stuff I'll never understand. All right, I'm not gonna waste too much time on this. Let's see. Okay, now I'm a little confused why that's not. I think something's missing from the if statement, but I'm not sure what it is. So it wants the outer container, which I'm not gonna give it. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna start this whole section from scratch. I don't want any help. I don't want that. All right, so let's just get this to a working state so we know this is gonna be that, right? No errors so far. No errors on that either. Oh no. Right. So let's just see what this looks like, right? This is just title and URL, right? And then if there is no URL, we do need that markup that says like, if, what was it? URL. If URL is a string, what? Why did I do that? That's such a stupid statement. I think I just needed to do if URL question mark else, and then that little text component, right? So we'll say, yeah, that's fine. All right, and then I'm guessing now it's complaining that this.
And then I go home and I listen to them alone.
Yeah, that's weird that it wants that though. I don't understand that, if I'm being honest.
I'll be honest with one.
But it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna like focus too much energy on that. That's a small potato right now in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so now we have this working and it's at its most basic form, right? No sanity UI elements to look at all there. So let's see if we can get this. Okay, so that's closer to what we want, right? That's closer to what we want. Really, this is perfect. The only thing now is that our embed is too big. and we don't have enough breathing room under this text component, right? So let's go back. See, that's why starting from scratch is so good. We need to see if we can add padding here. I think that's the next move, right? We need to see if text allows us to do some kind of padding. It might be the case that only padding can be applied to cards. So we may need to stick the... Yeah, let's find out what happens if we stick the text component in a card component and add some padding. I'm going to copy that, paste that here. Let's go ahead and... Alright, so now this text component technically... and we just need to import card now. But I don't know what I have in here. Okay, I have some stuff in here already. So card. And then I'll clean this up too. This is going to need to be alphabetized and spread a bit differently. So you guys know how I do. Alright, so that almost got it to where we want it, right? The only thing now is the video. Look at that. We went from having like a million pieces of code in there to almost being done now. We actually have too much padding. We can probably bring this down to 2, and then we can work on the video embed URL, right? Like, what does that need to be to actually be the right size here? So I'm going to come back over to the code, and for padding here, I just want to see what 2 looks like real quick. Let's just see what making that 2 does for us here. All right, story elements. Let's go check that out. That's much better, nice and clean. All right, so now it's definitely the embed now that I think we have to target. So we need to figure out where that embed. I think we put that embed URL, like the URL query parameters. I think we put that on the actual element itself. So that's going to be inside of the story schema. So let's take a look at that. Let's see. Well, maybe not the story schema. It might be in the shared elements. Yeah, I think it's actually in the shared elements. And let's look at this in the actual code view. Yep, here's our YouTube element, and then there's our YouTube URL. So it does look like we... So maybe it's up to us. Maybe there's a maybe that player has a default, yeah, I bet that's it. So let's go find that. We need to find that. So what we'll do is let's go back to the browser. Let's find that component. That's going to be a component that we can control, right? So I can't remember who attributed that though. Was that YouTube preview is by React Player. Okay, so we can do React Player YouTube embed. And then we should find some kind of a like a documentation page that actually has the different rules, the different properties. Here we go, right? So URL being one of them, controls being another one, and then I'm guessing yep, here we go. Width and height, right? And the width by default is 640. Okay, so what I'm guessing, if there's no kind of yeah, so let's find out what our width should be first. Like for perfect viewing, I hate that this isn't responsive. Set the width of the player. You would think that they would let this be responsive. However, we are in React, right? So we can do something with the width being a conditional value based on viewport, maybe. A little past, like we're beyond adding. Here's callback props here. Oh, nice. Wait, what about on load? Call when the media is loaded and ready to play. Yeah, so on ready, we can actually listen to the on ready prop, and I'm guessing that callback can be used to define like a state defined width and height, right? But I don't think we're gonna do that now. Let's just set this to 400, see what happens. I'm gonna go back over to the IDE. On that YouTube player, I'm gonna set width to 400. This is again, this is not important for what we're trying to do. Eventually we will need to figure out how to properly manage these different elements and stuff, but not now. So that's a little too tight, and it's also not centered. I'm gonna put this in a card. I'm gonna put the video player inside of a card and see if that automatically cuts it off for us, right? Like shrinks it down for us. So what I'm gonna do is go back to the IDE. I'm gonna get rid of that width property altogether, and I'm just gonna play around with this card, okay? This might not work, which I'm totally fine with if it doesn't. We have other options here if this doesn't work, but I think this may be worth a shot to see kind of what this looks like. So I'll go back to the browser. Go to story elements. I don't know if that took. All right, so that didn't work. I wonder if we can do percentage in here. Maybe we can do width. Can I do 100%? No, it has to be a number. But it's like, how do we know what the width, what the best width's gonna be? Isn't that gonna be based on the viewport? Like what? All right, we'll go to. So we saw that 400 was too small. We'll do 500. Go up by 100 pixels. I don't know if that's enough, to be honest. But I imagine the more wide this thing is, the more room my video is gonna have, right? If I blow that up, oh no, it's pretty consistent. It's pretty consistent. I'm actually gonna go back to the IDE, and for that card, no, for this, I'm gonna do align center. I wonder if I can do this. No, it doesn't look like align is a rule on that. Yeah, that would have popped up for us, right? So maybe inside of card I can do align? No. All right, that's fine. So what else can I do to center this? There's another, I think I can use stack maybe? No. Flex, there we go. I can use flex. So let's put a flex container around the YouTube player and see if that does what we want. Does this have a padding? Nice. All right, I don't know what that's gonna do for us, but we'll see. I hate this guessing and checking. Like, I almost wish there was some documentation I could read that was like specifically for this. Like, oh, that song change scared me. I was like, where's that coming from? That actually scared me. All right, so that did it. That centered our video, I think. The question is, what if I remove the width now? As a matter of fact, that did a great job for us. That exactly did what we wanted. So that was the answer. So now we need to keep that in mind, right? Cards work for containing text. Flex works for containing like elements, like actual elements. So I think what I want to try, I know this is crazy, but I'm going to once again try it without the width just to see if that flex container is clever enough to, you know, deduce that we need a certain size there. So let's see. And it did. Perfect. All right, that's beautiful. So we didn't need to declare a width. This is obviously one of the best languages to ever exist, called React. Of course, one of the best content management systems called Sanity. They work together like Bill and Ted, okay? This is so lit, yo. What up, Ladybug? What's good? Welcome back to the Junkyard. We got some of the A1s up in the Junkyard. What's good? Yo, we got it. Y'all, we got it, okay? That's lit, yo. That's our editing experience. Let me add a YouTube video in line. Let's go. What you mean? That's kind of crazy. Yo, that's the best editing experience you're gonna get, okay? Yo, that's lit. All right, let me stop fangirling. So listen, now that we got this out the way, right? I feel like the next thing to do, let's hurry up and bang through these templates, like the person template, so we can hurry up and get to the story template, because that's the meat and potatoes. So, all right, so we're gonna do that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this up. I think this solves everything we need for that ticket, right? So let's get our ducks in a row. Let's woosah. Excitement is great, but we gotta get, it's business time, okay? We gotta get situated. So what I'm gonna do here is, let's actually expand this out. Let's go back to the IDE and let's start prepping our update. Okay, so we do a git branch, move elements to single WYSIWYG. So we on the right branch, that's great. I'm gonna do a git pull just in case there are changes that I forgot about. This should say already up to date, which it does. That's great, fantastic. So I'm also going to shut the app down for now. I don't think we need that right now. I'll go ahead and kill that. We're only going to focus on getting this code out the door. So let's go ahead and stage all of these changes, and then we'll look and see what we did. So remember, we always take notes. We always want to keep a record here of what we're about to commit to the code base, just in case we need to go back. So we know we installed Sanity UI to the code base, or not installed, just really added Sanity UI package, right? That's what they are, little npm node packages. Okay, so and then we added a moved all elements, which is crazy to say, but moved all story elements into single WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Editor. Editing experience is really what that was. Say had periods behind these because I like when the notes look like full sentences. And then we added YouTube embed element. What else did we do? We added previews, inline previews for CTA and YouTube embed elements. What else did we do? We updated story schema, updated the story schema to, I'll just say we optimized elements in the story schema. That's what I'll say we did. I don't want to be too optimize elements in all of them, right? So story, person, and tag schema. We did them all. We did them all. And tag schema. Okay. What else did we do? What did we do in layout? Why did I need this here? Oh, we added default. Okay, so we added suspense for default state of website as things are loading. I forgot all about that. That was like the first thing we did that stream. Added several skeleton elements. Yep. Or not really elements, they're components. And that's it. All right, and then added. Now, infinite scroll was already adjusted. Infinite scroll logic on Storybank. We may change that some of that up tonight too, because I realized that we now, since we know what we're doing with these story versus server components, we have some excuse me, we have some options on how we manage those two sides of the equation. Because right now, I'm doing a direct fetch in the parent of the component that has the story bank in it. So on that section landing page, that tags page, that does it does the same thing that fetch component does. So in all I was gonna say in all fairness, I don't know why that's the phrase that's coming to my mind, but in reality, there's no point to do that there when that function is handled in a server component somewhere else. So we could just declare that parent component a client component and call that other method. I think that's how we should do it, and I have a feeling that'll work. So we'll look at that today. But this looks good. This looks like enough notes for us to get this ticket committed. So I'm gonna do a get commit -m. I think I don't remember what the branch was. Let's do a get branch first. So it's gonna be get commit -m RNDJNKEE -42. And this is moves story elements into single WYSIWYG experience editor. All right, go ahead and push that up. Now let's head back to the browser. Make sure we did everything correctly. All right, we are on a different project right now. Let's make sure we head over to the right projects. Why do I always have trouble finding this thing? No, it's not there. Home? Yeah, I guess you have to go home first. Oh, it's not a it's not a project, it's a repository. So, oh, wow, it's in the sidebar. I didn't notice that. I can just pull this sidebar out and they're right here. That's really awesome. My little private repositories there. It's pretty cool. So now here's our PR. Let's go ahead, and it says that it's mergeable. And remember, this is merging directly into main. In our other environment, we actually, oh man, I can't wait to show you guys Vercel. This is gonna be so much better when we get Vercel in. But all right, yeah, no, this is fine. I'm not gonna spend too much time going through that, because what you guys probably don't know, some of you may not have been on that stream, but I did a lot of validation on that last stream to make sure that everything we were doing was kosher. So I'm not gonna keep revalidating that. All right, that looks good. Let's create the PR. Oh man, part of me feels like we should spend some time doing Vercel tonight. But then I wouldn't be able to get to the rest of the website. So let's just get this boring stuff out the way, so that the streams for next week, I think next week is sprint end, so we want those to be some pretty lit streams. So we'll do that. I'm gonna merge this PR. Yep, I'm gonna confirm that, and then now that this is merged, we can actually just move on to the next set of tickets, right? So we'll move this to done, and nothing's being deployed to a production server right now, so we don't have anything to review. However, my new site actually does have stuff to review, so that's been really fun to do. That's where Vercel comes in. Vercel has all of that stuff wired up, so it's really cool. Okay. All right, so wireframe for the person design. We know this is gonna look a lot like the other template. Let's do that right now. We'll head over to Canva and we'll wireframe this up. We can get this ticket done really quickly. Man, I had some really good promo material today. It was so cool looking. Some of you guys may be on my social media. You may follow me on IG and stuff like that. You saw the promos for, I always have promo when I'm about to stream. And today I was just inspired to do something like so unique and classy. It was so dope. Okay, so this is our section template. And in theory, right, the person template looks exactly the same. There's no reason to recreate this wheel. The only thing I think we need to recreate is the header needs to be a bit more like person based. So maybe a circular person to the left of this rectangle, and then to the right is just a description box, right? So the person's bio or whatever, I don't know, we'll figure that out. But then all of this underneath this story bank, this should be the same as the topic story bank. The only thing that we need to change is the query. So we can use the same component, the same story bank component, and just pass it different data. But we need to somehow tell it, if we're going to use the story bank component, we need to tell it what method to go use. That's going to be interesting too, because we don't want to create like 1,000,001 duplicates of all of this stuff, right? This story bank here, we go look at our content structure. We close out these notes. We already took those. Let's close all this stuff down real quick. Let's look at story bank. Wow, I didn't do that on purpose either. That was like, it just so happened to pop up. So this is where I was saying that we could switch this out with, we could add use client to the parent of story bank and use this same method. But let's think about this, right? So the only difference with the query that we're gonna do for person is that instead of us saying, hey, get me the story bank. Hang on, let's look at the story bank query. So the story bank query is saying, hey, give me all the stories for this slug. Well, give me all the stories that have a slug that are in a published state, like they aren't drafts, that have this ID as one of its tags. So when you think about it, literally the only thing we're about to change, we need this exact same query, and I really need to figure out how to optimize this use case. But we need this exact same query all the way up to the tag ID. Okay, that's the only thing different about the thing that we need. Literally, that's the only thing different. We still need the same tag. Like all of this same data that makes up the story bank, we need all of that. So what we're going to end up with is, man, I got to figure out how to make this part of our query dynamic. This is the challenge right now. Because instead of tag ID, it needs to be person ID inside of this authors array. Because it can be any of those authors, right? So if a story pops up, like let's say it's iterating over the stories and it's searching, if one of those stories has, let's say it has 3 authors, and at least one of those authors is the current author page we're on, then boom, Bob's your uncle, right? That's a win for us. All right, so we'll get to that point. Let's finish this wireframe real quick. What I'm gonna do, I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm actually just gonna copy this real quick, and we'll use majority of this as our. Man, why is that being so tricky? All right, let's start it from this. There, we'll go ahead and copy paste that, and then this will be our, we call this sections, this will be authors. Okay, and then now the only thing I really want to change here is this. I want to change how this looks. Like, I feel like the way to do this, like even if you do it this way, that's fine, but in some way, right, you need to get rid of, I think you need to get rid of this guy. That doesn't really look right. And I think here you need some kind of like profile photo. Because remember what IGN did, right? Like if we go back over to IGN and there are inspiration, if we go to their person page, what they did is they have their users upload 2 photos, right? They went straight up Facebook. You're on the hook to give me a cover photo, and you're on the hook, which is this big thing, and you're on the hook to give me a regular circular photo. And I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna change our person schema to now like force them, hang on, let's go content people. We're gonna force them to deliver us 2 images. One as that long background image, and another one as their profile photo. And then that's how we'll do that. So we don't have that now, but let's assume we did. If we did have that, then by all means we can keep this background image here. All we're missing now is some kind of circular, like like frame, like image frame. So let's actually use frames for this. So I'm gonna head over to our frame section in Canva. We're gonna use a circular frame. Let's add that here. Make it a little smaller. It doesn't need to be that small, but yeah, this can be something like this, right? Where you have this circled, this it's really generic too. Like this is really generic. I don't care at all. I'm gonna give it a outer border, outer white border here. Just because I really do like that it has some kind of prominence. And then I'm gonna just dump a random person's photo from the interwebs. So I'll do like a happy okay, that looks weird. I was gonna use one of those, but all right, this works. Okay, so we'll put her in there. That's perfect. 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 All right, that looks really good. All right, I think we're ready to move on. But yeah, this is a really easy update to the template. So we're gonna make a copy of, I don't know if we want to recycle the whole story bank because we only have 3 page types. Yeah, let's think about this architecture real quick. I know my counterparts over in dev land are probably gonna crucify me for what I'm about to do here, but I just don't know if it's worth the hassle. Like when you think about it, right? A lot of what we have so far in story query, if it was a little bit more dynamic, we could achieve it without, achieve story bank query without needing story query. So it's almost like this, right? It's almost like this, right? It's almost like if we can pass this with no tags ID and this still work, then that would mean that if tags ID is null, then this always evaluates to true. Let's test that. That's going to be our test. If that works, then we can make these dynamic by just adding this, right? Changing it to person ID, so author ID, and then this would be authors, right? That's the name of that field. And whenever one of them doesn't exist, the query will be clever enough to know what to do, right? I hope my music isn't too loud in the background. You guys let me know if that's distracting. But all right, before we get to this point, let's at least sign off on our design ticket. So this is our authors page. Almost looks exactly like the section page, which is, we're being lazy with this, I know, but that's intentional. We don't want to spend too much time on this, and we are not gonna. So let's just sign off on this. All right, so we'll say this is now done. Okay, and then we can move on to the design that static version of the template in the app, and that's a different piece of code that we have to write, right? That's not saying that everything is connected and it all works. That's saying that there's like a static version of that same template that has the circular author image, that has rows of data, which I think we'll use the story bank for. I think there is going to be a path forward for that, so let's just do that first. So we'll create a branch. This will be in our Trend Junkie app. We'll branch from main. We'll go ahead and create that, stand that up now. Let's head over to GitHub and pull that branch out. So this is the active branch, would be the person design in app. Head back over to the IDE. We're going to go ahead and check that out, that branch out. So first let's do a clear, then we'll do a git fetch. Okay, then we're going to do a git checkout of that branch that we were just on. So now that we're there, we can actually start writing this new template, right? So the first thing we need to do is we need to establish this new content type as something that can be paged through, right? So remember, we made it so that, and this is really not us, this is NextJS and their app router, making things so easy to do. So the structure for us, right, needs to be app and then a folder called author, and then a slug directory, right? So open bracket slug, close bracket, and then a page.tsx file, right? And then that way, whenever we visit any of those person URLs, we can have the information about it to send into, to send that back to Sanity, right? So it's literally gonna be this. Like, this is almost exactly what we need. Oh, this was us adding fallback. This was another thing that we did on the stream last week. We made it so that if there was no tag data at all, then you would get this little message that says, hey, for this particular tag that you requested data for, there were no stories, okay? Or you just didn't give me a tag at all. Or you gave me a tag, but it wasn't a real tag in the system. Hang on, guys. I am getting very cold. All right, I'm just gonna actually turn that off for now. Hopefully that doesn't get too bad. But yeah, I decided to wear shorts since I don't think I'm going outdoors. We'll see. All right, so we have section. Let's actually copy this entire thing. Let's paste it in app. Okay, and now instead of this being, instead of that being section copy, this is gonna be author. And then slug and page TSX stays the same. That's all good. What we're gonna do though is, I don't want to steal too much from this. Why do I have tag query? Oh, one query is to get the tag information, and the other is to get the stories for that tag. So we'll need a like person query, and then we'll need a query to get the person data. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna refactor this file so that it's compatible with person. And I'm gonna do that first, actually. I think I'm gonna do that first. Or should I just do what I just said and make this completely... Because I can't do a story bank query. What if I don't have a tag ID? Oh, we're gonna get an error if we don't have... I bet we'll get an error if we don't have a tag ID defined. We have to say tag ID is blank. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say there is no tag ID. Yeah, let's just make sure that our pages are working as expected. So why is app complaining right now? Author slug page.csx. Was there an error that I missed somewhere? That actually should be fine. That is not what I expected to see. Let me shut this IDE down and open it up again. That has happened to me before. Make sure there are no errors here. Nah, it's clean. Sometimes I don't know why the IDE does that. Sometimes it like gets trapped in a false error. Really weird. All right, cool. Okay, so time is 8 o'clock. All right, so now let's go to the browser and see if we can visit. So we'll do a start app, and let's head to the browser and see if we can visit that route. So it should be any person, right? So I should be able to click any of these people. And these should now be wired to their author, yeah. So there was no tag for this request. Remember, that's the default that we get back whenever there's no data that comes back. But this is working, so Santa Row looks like that's working. No, that wasn't working. Augusta Elplin? These feel wrong to me. Alright, we need to go into the studio and figure out why these are incorrect slugs. Oh no, they are correct. Alright, so then I think these are working, actually. If I go author slash... Alright, cool. So now that we have that working, I think we just need to okay, we're gonna have a different featured card. So we're not gonna use their featured card, we're gonna use our own. So we know we're gonna swap this out. We can get rid of this conditional as well. The initial stories is gonna be hard to do. We need to just solve this ticket and move on before we get too deep in the weeds. I'm almost thinking, guys, we combine these two tickets so that we're doing the real work. Now that we have everything we need, we don't need to deliver a static version of this. We can actually just start wiring this thing up for real. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say that once we do this one ticket, we're solving both the static and the main version of that ticket. And then for story, we just won't do a static story template. Well, no, for story, we actually have to do a template. Oh, what's good? What's good? What's good, meow? What's good, meow? What's to it? Where's that comment coming from? Oh, that's Twitch. Twitch is bugging right now on my browser. I think I'm froze. There it is. There it is. What's good? I'm getting busy right now, bruh. I'm getting busy. All right, let's start cleaning this up. So one thing we did just confirm, though, is that if we were to just drop this to be null, I don't think anything comes back. Here, let's go back to the browser and validate that. I think that it we just proved. Oh, where's the browser? There we go. Wait, no, where is the browser? Can't be that. Here we go. Okay. So now if we refresh this author page, yeah, see, it's still relying on that tag to exist, right? So, dang, so we can't make that dynamic. Meow meow, I might need your assistance, bruh. I might need your assistance on making something dynamic and sweet, bruh. All right, let's just dive in. We know we need to make a new query. Let's start at the top, right? We know we need to make a new query called a person query, or author query. We'll stick to the machine names that we gave the other stuff. We'll update this. I think that's all good. Initial story stays. This becomes person ID. Yep, let's get busy. Let's get busy, yo. Queries. It's gonna be literally a replica of this. So this is gonna be a author query. Type person slug current slug 0. Boom. That's the author query. Done. Author query. Done. Dunstan. All right, no, that's good. Okay. Now we have author, and now here we can do author ID instead, right? Author ID, and then we do need initial stories. Story bank query. This is so stupid. I'm gonna have to do story bank person query until I figure out a strategy, y'all. Like, as stupid as that seems, like, y'all will see why that's dumb, but I really don't know how to pull it off right now. So we basically need to copy this because it's an exact replica. Story bank person query. Then maybe we call the other one tag query in a second. But the only thing that changes is this becomes author ID, and this becomes authors. Then in here now, that should be good. No, we still have tag in here, so we need author where we have tag. Okay. And then we also need to fix this featured card. It's not going to be that anymore, right? We need to put the real card in. So for a minute, it's going to look like the same card. We'll clean that up. This is going to be, we're going to copy that guy and paste the new one in here. It's going to be featured person card. I know nothing about web dev. What? Well, you're in the right place, my guy. Or gal. Sorry if I misgendered that. All right, let's think about this, y'all. So this becomes author. Okay, I need to choose one, right? I'm using person and author here. I need to choose one. Which one do we want to use? The name of that content type is person, but the name of that field is author. So we'll stick to content type based identifiers, right? It's going to be content type identifiers. So this is going to be person. This is going to be person. Yeah, all of them. All of these are person. And then in here, the query, this becomes person. Yeah, that's right already, but the other one is wrong. Person query. Yep. Beautiful. That beautiful. All right, and then here we have an issue because that's not what we're passing to the card. So the featured person card has a bunch of stuff here. All right, and this is all person data, right? Right now it might fail because it's tag data. No, it should work. It should work out of the box, actually. Yep, all right, this might just be a false button. No, that's actually... why not? Wait. Person does not exist on type whatever. Did I really not set that up correctly? Yeah, I totally set it up. All right, we need to see what we're getting back from that query, I think. So let's just do a console.log here. Maybe there's no data coming back. Here, let's pull this all the way up. Yeah, there is a data object coming back. All right, what is this error talking about? It's saying that person colon sanity document, which is the type. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. This component is changed. I think it's in there. There we go. Okay. All right. So now that should be cleaned up. As a matter of fact, that should be everything. I should be able to go see this page actually returning data, albeit fake data, but it should at least be returning some data, right? So let's refresh that. Nope. Author ID reference but not provided. I think that needs to be person ID. Now let's go back to the query. Here, right? Author ID needs to be person ID. All right, and there we go, right? So now we're getting, oh, that picture is crazy big. So it's getting the image because that's how we have it wired up. It's getting the incorrect image, of course, but at least it's getting the image. So we now know that we have wired things up correctly. So the next thing we have to do is now we need to actually pull in the right information. So let's actually clean up the feature card first. So this isn't going to be person.title. Do we have a description for our people? We have a yeah, we have a bio, right? So it's going to be .bio. And if we're looking for person data, let's actually log out this information because I genuinely don't know what all we get back. I think it's just bio. Yeah, it's just bio. Do we have like a short summary or something? No, it doesn't look like we have a short bio. All we have is like a legitimate rich text bio. So did we take care of that? Yeah, here we go. So it is this, but instead of description, it's bio. And we've already built the component for that. Yep. So now you can see on the browser that is appearing now, or bio's appearing. This image is insane. I don't know why it's so big. Maybe it's because the height is at 1600. I mean at 600. I thought that was fine though. Why would it be this big? It's massive. The max height for it is 1050. And we are constraining it to 1000 right now, so it's not even respecting the height rule that we have on here. So I think what we need to do is add a height attribute here and constrain this to 600. Let's see if that gives us a more reasonable... No, it's still huge, dude. That's still way too big. Hang on, I need to see if all of these are that big. They probably are, and I just don't notice it. Yeah, they are. Okay, so we're back to normal then. We're back to normal. All right, so now that we have this, let's make sure we're getting the right image. Person image photo. Is that how we grab it? Yeah, person image photo. Yep. So this is good so far. I think now let's style it up. So if we go back to the browser, one thing that we changed is this is anchored to the right now instead of the left, and the left is going to be where we add the circle image, like the person's bio picture, profile picture or whatever. So we need to take care of that too. Man, Twitch is not telling me arg. All right, so let's see. How do we want to do this? So I think the easiest thing to do is to figure out how we anchor this to the right, to the left, and then just move it to the other side, right? So we must have some kind of rule right now. Yeah, because it's absolute and then it's top 24. So we just need to put it on the right, right? We need to say like right 0. Maybe it's right 0. I'm actually not sure on this. This is oh, that was exactly right. Okay. And then we can have a big old circle image that they can live in. So what we'll do is we'll steal this image idea from the circle images that appear underneath each row of content. So we should be able to find that in any story bank or story wall. So where is the image? Here's our image. And the way we did that, no, that's not the right one. It's this one, right? So here's how we did that. We did a rounded overflow hidden, put the image in there. We don't need their name. we can add their name under their image maybe, or we can just add their name prominently inside of that description box. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do just to save time. So this is the person's photo. Oh yeah, remember we have a missing piece here we have to solve for. We have to add a new piece of data to the schema. And since we're doing all of this in one ticket, we might as well take care of it. But let's just see how far this gets us, adding this this little person icon here. We might get pretty far with this. Nah, that's it's adorable. Okay, so we need to put some absoluteness on that. Let's go back to the IDE. So this needs to be a like a sibling of this guy. So I'm gonna flatten that. And this is where the background image lives. I don't think we want to change that. What we want to do is put this, we'll move this to just above the image. Okay, and then we'll do the same absolute here, absolute top 24. And then since we want this to stay on the left, we'll keep that there. But let's see where this gets us with this here. All right, so that's kind of what we want, right? What we'll do is we'll move it over a bit more and make it way bigger, right? We want it to be almost as big as this. So right now this is sitting at about 350. So let's just set a height of 350 on this. No width though. We don't want to constrain the width. So we'll do a height of 350 and we'll drop these. Oh wait, 350 by 350. This is a perfect square, right? So we can actually take 44. Here, we're gonna make this 350 by 350. So we'll just do 350 and see where we net with that. Thought that would have changed it. Width 11 and height 11. Oh yeah, we have to make the width values match like what we're going for, right? If we're going for 350, which to me is too deep, I'm actually gonna do 200. I'm gonna do 200 here instead of 350. 200, and then we're gonna go over to Tailwind and find out what their width and height values are. It's gonna be like 11, 12, 13, something like that. We gotta find out what that is for the goal of ours, right? So if you see these numbers here, they match up to a certain pixel depth. So 52 is 208. That's close to our 200. So we'll try width and height 52 in the IDE. Oh, and let me show you the browser, what I was just looking at. So for the browser, right, I headed over to the Tailwind docs. Here I search for width, and you can see here you have these properties to the right of each width association, right? It tells you what rem value is, which is like the screen reader font, and not screen reader, but the visual screen size, pixel size. Well, this is the pixel size. Rem is like the digital size of it. Let me actually get a real definition of that. Yeah, font size relative to the root element. So it's like your root element, right? It's short for root EM. Yeah, so the root element, based on that, it's like this big based on the root element. But you can also convert them pretty perfectly to pixels, right? So for us, it looks like 52 is what we're going for, right? 13 rem. So we're gonna do 52 here, right? Where we had 11s here, we're gonna change these to 52s and see what that did for our image size. This is the wrong page. This is the right page, and that looks cool. It doesn't look great. It could be bigger. We're gonna make it bigger, but that doesn't look horrible, right? So let's actually play around with this a bit more. I'm gonna make it, let's say, 64. I'll save it. Head back over to the browser. And I have to respect the width and height of our limitation here as well. So if we're saying 64 is 256, then we have to also make our image to be like 260 by 260. We always want it to be a little bigger than the container so it can bleed out. So let's go to the IDE, and we'll do 260s all around. Okay, back to the browser. See what that looks like. All right, so here's what I'm gonna change though. I'm gonna make sure I'll leave the photo here. I'm gonna scoot it from the wall a little bit, but I'm also just gonna move the description over as well. So that our photo, this is actually a tough design. It's not tough. It's tough to make dynamic. Because what you would want to happen is this to always be perfectly centered against this, but these are both two floating things. We don't know how high this is gonna go. So maybe the answer here is to anchor the image somewhere unrelated to this description. And my vote would be in the bottom left so that it bleeds outside the bottom left a little. So here, let's actually do that. Let's do that. Let's just see what that looks like. So if I were to go here and say, actually I'll do bottom, let's say bottom 0 for now. And then let's do left. Hang on, let's just do this for now. Let's see what this gets us. And I don't love it. I don't love it. This looks so much easier. I'm not loving it like McDonald's. Man, I need an idea on how to do this. Not like the technical how, but like how should something like this be constructed? I think this works actually. If this picture was of a person, you would probably just need this guy here to be right to the right of this. So bottom and then the right would be anchored based on how big this is. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. So if we took this and said, hey, instead of you being right, let's just do width. I think it's width 100. Yeah, so we'll do width like 2/3, is it? Which one is 75? I forget which one is like 75%. 3/4. I know that actually is 75%. I'm not stupid, but all right, and then we'll do bottom 0 here. All right, that looks better. And then I'm gonna actually put this a little off the left rail, so maybe I'll do left 2. Nope, left 8. Nope, that's too much. Left 4. And then let's do actually, instead of bottom 0, bottom 2. Nope, 4 is good. Yep, all right, cool. This works for us, okay? We'll do bottom 4 here as well. Right 4 here as well. All right, and then just so you guys can see what this looks like now, that looks totally fine. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Now we have I'm actually gonna push this up a little more. I'm gonna take that to 8. So I'm gonna do bottom 8 on that DOM so that the image is more centered with the box itself. I think I have this box getting smaller. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully the top left anchor here, since I don't have a bottom rule anymore, this should always be aligned bottom. So sometimes we'll have a person's face that stretches like a little bigger than this box. That's something that we'll be able to deal with in post, like after we develop everything. For now, I don't think we need to deal with it. All right, let me. nice. Love it. Okay, so we're good with this part of the site, the person information. We're gonna fix the schema and pull in different data eventually. For now, let's get the story bank wall this rigged up correctly so that it's pulling in people based on the stories. I mean, pulling in stories based on the person. So now what we want to do, since we can sign off on person card, now what we want to do is go back over to story bank. We want to make a story person bank. Again, I don't love what I'm doing right now. I hate that this can't be a little more dynamic than this. And this is definitely something I'm going to look into so that I can properly recycle these templates. But for now, like I said, I think this works just fine. So I'm going to change. I don't need to change much here. That's what's really awesome about this, right? So we're starting on this side of the fence. I'm going to change this to fetch story by person. I'm going to change the tag ID values here. All of these are going to become person IDs. So I don't need to do anything in here. I'm just going to call these person ID. Okay? And then this method, instead of it being fetch stories by tag, it's going to be fetch story by person. And I'm going to go into that component, or fetch component, and I'm going to duplicate this latest one, this latest export here. And it'll be fetch stories by person. And the data that it accepts is going to be a person ID. All right, and the rest of that stays the same. Okay, person ID. All right, and now instead of it using the story bank query, it's going to use the story bank person query. Wait, I do need the story bank query. Can't take that out. But I'll just add it here. Story bank person. And then now that's what we'll use here. So there we go. And now this should work, if I'm not mistaken. I may have some stuff to do here, though. We can get rid of that. Now everything should be wired up. This is going to need to be changed to story person bank. Okay. This is going to need to be the initial person ID. Okay. This needs to be imported now instead of the story bank. And I believe that's it. So if we head back over to the site, wait, hang on, let's make sure we got all this right. So story person bank, there looks like there's still an error. Yeah, person ID is being complained about. Story person bank, am I not importing it? Person ID, yeah. Person ID, all of that's right, all of that's right. There might be some issues in here, but the rest of this looks good. Oh, I know what it is. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we're getting the right information. Let's see if our... All right, so we still have no content tag to this person, which... Is that true? Feels impossible. Let me look through initial stories and see what we're getting. Oh, I see what's happening here. I took out the person ID. This needs to actually be... I think it's like person.data. I'm not going to redo that whole thing. There's a string of ternary, like nested conditional logic here that I need to replicate. So let's see what I changed here. Here it is. So let's actually revert that because that would fail. And let's use this here. Okay, so it's going to be basically person.data _ID or nothing at all to avoid errors, and now we should get content there. All right, so now we're getting all the content for the people, for the stories that this person contributed to in some way. I wonder if we want to make it so now we don't have like a primary author on any of these. Right? It's any time this person wrote a story. Let's confirm that, right? Let's look at a few of these. let's go find a few of these in the UI. So here, just so you guys see the browser, the stories popped in now. And these are the stories for this one author. If we go to Jennifer Budd, we'll see that we get a different set of stories. If we go to Vesta Haley, different set of stories and data. We go to Bernie Mac here, different set of stories and data. So all of that is fine. These profile pictures look okay. This is bothering me a little bit, I won't lie. That the fact that that's not more dynamic is getting under my skin. Wait, is this Dylan? Oh, we need to add the names here. Let's add the names here. So let's go back to the IDE and add our names. So on the actual page.tsx, I do need to save that because that's what that was originally. On the, not page.tsx, but on the featured person card, what I want to do is say that in that description box, oh, so it is there. We're just not showing it. So I think it's person.name. Oh, but it's a combination of things, right? It's gonna be name, and then it's gonna be, basically, we need to say here, like, person.nickname, nickname. If person.nickname exists, then do person.nickname. Otherwise, just nothing here. Are we getting the space? Yeah, so we'll do space person.nickname. And the way we'll do this is, let's just use backticks here. I think we can. We'll do person.nickname. And we'll surround this in double quotes, space, person.nickname, or nothing at all, followed by, always followed by a space, person.name. I think it's dot last, right? And then I think this one is person.name.first. All right, so this looks really ugly. I'm gonna change this. This looks really ugly to me. But let's see if that at least gets our names added to the top of these. Yep, we got it. So if we click Cameron, Haley, what? Yeah, there it is. So that was just cached. Yep, there they are. So they're showing up now. At least we know who we're on when we click on their pages. That's good. So now let's finish fixing the other thing what were we gonna fix? What was the other thing? Oh, I forgot. I think that might be it. I think we've literally just speed ran through this section. I don't know if there's anything that remains here for us to do. Wait, let's think about that. That was way too fast. So we have I guess we could do some styling stuff. I just don't know what we should do here. We could just give this a minimum height, right? We could give this a minimum height. Let's try that. Let's try giving it a minimum height of whatever the height of this is. So if we go back to the IDE and we look at our the person card, we can see that the minimum height on this is always going to be 260. So that informs us that our min height here needs to be 260 is what we're going for. So we need to figure out what number equates to a 260, or at least gets us closest to that 260 number. And I actually think being a little more than 260 is going to benefit us here. Using server actions. Oh, you know it. You know I got to get the server actions going. What's going on, Simple Sphere? How your Friday going, man? All right, let's look at Tailwind real quick. Let's find out what's close to 260. All right, we're gonna go with 72. 72 is close enough, so we'll try it. Whoops. We're gonna do a min height of 72 here, and just see how that affects this. Okay, so I think that is kind of okay. Let's see what the one level below it is, right? 256. So let's try 64. See if that looks a little better, even though it's going to be tighter. Nah, I like 72 better. Yeah, 72 is better. But now I feel like we have too much dead space. Like maybe we need to vertically center the text here. I don't know. I may leave it. I may leave it. That doesn't look horrible. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it, guys. Screw it. All right. I'm gonna leave it because I like that the text is anchored to the top left. That feels right to me. It just feels right. And if this ever gets bigger, if this box ever gets bigger, we can just force scroll it, right? So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna say the min and the max is 72. I'm actually just gonna call the height 72. I'm not even gonna put a min and a max there, right? So yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna say we have a 72 height, and we already know that overflow scroll is set to true, right? So if we come back here to the browser, let's see if we can't find some description that's long enough. Click Rooker. There we go. This one's long enough, right? And you can see we have scroll here, right? If it ever does breach the height of this container, that is fine. That is fine. Our client is gonna love it because we tell them to love it. All right. All right. We didn't affect anything else. Ticket done. Both of those tickets knocked out of the park. Done, done, done. Both of these done. We can move on with time to spare. Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna actually submit this. I think this is literally complete. What am I missing? Why do I feel like I'm missing something? I feel like there's a part of this task that I still haven't finished. So hang on, let's think about it, right? So no, let's stay on the browser. If we come back to the experience, we now can click on a person. We get we need to make it so that a person can upload a profile picture that's different than a cover picture. So the cover picture can match the width and the height of our carousel images, and then it'll be the same setup that we did for story. Right? For story, we have featured images too now. So we have to regenerate a bunch of content for that, but I hate to see this much content wasted, but it's not gonna matter. The next thing we're doing is a story, so we don't need this content anyway. All right, so let's first work on the schema change. So let's go over to our schemas. All right, and then for schemas, the one that we did that was similar to this was our story schema, where we added a second image. One's a thumbnail and the other was featured media. So we're gonna call ours a cover, and we'll leave the photo the same. So let's actually do that. I'm gonna close these out. We are done with these changes for now, at least. Let's come here to person schema. And we got name, we got slug. Where's our image? Here's our image. We called it just image. So we're gonna call the other one cover image. All right, and it's gonna be just a standard image field. It's gonna have a name of cover image. It's gonna have a type of image element and a let's require it. We'll require, whoa, how did I do that? Okay, we'll also require it. I like this. I don't know why I just did that. What I could have done was this. It's literally the exact same thing. It's just instead of name that, it's just going to be cover underscore image. Okay, so now this technically is available on our content type. If we head back over to the IDE, we should be able to see it. So, I mean, not IDE, but the browser. We should be able to see it in the editing experience. So now if we look here, let's see, there's our photo. Maybe we have to click. Wait, is the app running right now? I don't think the app is even running right now. Hang on, there's an error in here anyway. All right, that was a false error. Okay. I don't think we're running the app. I mean, the Sanity Studio. I think we're only running the app. So let's pop open the Sanity Studio. All right. Let's get rid of some of these tags. Remember, we are developers. We don't waste tabs. Don't you hate when you see those folks with, it always like nails on a chalkboard when I see someone who has like so many tabs open that they all look like these. It's just spread across. Like, how do you even peruse through that? How do you know how to even look through that? It's crazy. I always try and tell them, like, dude, group those if you're gonna have that many. But they never listen. Okay, here we go. So here's cover image, right? And this is a required field now, and it has the exact same metadata as a normal image. So it's gonna be really easy for us to now add this to our create data method, right? So let's do that now. Let's head over to the create data. So we'll go back to the IDE. I need to correctly. All right, we'll go back to the IDE. Now we'll look at our create data method, which is in our utils. No, it's in our scripts, create data. And inside of people, if we look in, it's actually higher up. So we'll need a couple things, right? We'll need that image caption, like cover image caption. So let's add these in order, right? We know, we've been around this block. We know what to do. So this is gonna be person cover image caption, right? So instead of image, cover image, done. That part's taken care of now. The other one we know we need is the other one we need is for build people, we need 2 more images, right? So what we'll do is we'll see what we did for story. We have the featured image at 1400 by 600. And then we have the thumbnail image at 800 by 600. I'm actually gonna make our person image, let's just do 400 by 400. I don't even know why we were doing such big images for those. And for these, we don't need 800 by 600 for these either. Let's actually head over. We're gonna optimize this a bit so the download speeds aren't so slow. We know that the featured image is this big, but we know that the thumbnails aren't this big. So we'll fix those for tags and for let's fix those for person tags and everything, right? So let's go. I'm actually gonna open this in a split pane. So in the IDE, I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna start our app. Okay, and then back in the browser, what we're gonna do is just mentally note how big we need these images to be. Okay, so do we really need this guy to be 600 by 464? Actually, that's kind of what we have, right? No, we have 800 by 600. We only need 620 by 465. 620 by 465. So let's go optimize that. 620 by 465. That is as big as that picture will ever be. And then I'm guessing for the person, it's even smaller. So for person, we said that the small variant of that is going to be, come back to the browser so you guys can see what I'm doing. 256. That's all we need. That's as big as that image will ever get, and it keeps it square, right? So 256 is what we need to set that to. So we're actually going to call this one here the this is going to be the main image. So this is going to be the one that's 256. All right, and then so this is the one I just set to 256, and then we're going to introduce a cover image here that's a little bigger, right? So I don't think I need to copy this from the other say featured, whoops, not featured, but dang it, cover. cover image, and then here where we have the word image, I'll just add cover image here. So copy that. That all looks good. Instead of just image, image, and image, cover image for all of those. And then for upload is going to be an image, and instead of the image buffer, there's going to be the cover image buffer. And then now let's add our actual asset. It's literally going to be this, guys. Like, that's how easy this is now that we have everything in place. Like, it's going to be cover image here. That's it. Cover image. And then we know it's an image element. We know it's a type image. Like, all of that's the same. As long as we're not using any like stored variables here, we're good. So this is actually going to be a cover image asset, right? Because that's what we just called the new one. And then this is going to be that person cover image caption schema. That's it. And this is now literally done. We now have updated our create data model for a person to be able to have 2 images on each upload. The only thing left to do now is we know that the cover image is bigger than 256. It actually needs to match whatever the featured image size is on story. So that's going to be 14 by 16, right? 1400 by 1600. Well, let's actually change that. Well, I don't know why I just did that, but 14 by 600. All right, and then that should do it, right? So what we'll do is we'll create a couple of test pieces of content. Unfortunately, we're going to lose a lot of content when we do this, but we can always generate it back. Now that this stuff is a little more optimized, like, I think it's going to be easier for us to work with. Tags right now require 1400 by 600 as well, because they are the only featured images on those pages. They stretch all the way across. So we have to keep those. There's nothing we can do about that. However, we don't need to keep the other stuff, right? So we'll just say create me. Well, we want the most people, right? So let's get 10 people going. Yeah, let's get 10 people going. We'll say, just give me 5 tags. Actually, we don't need 10 people. We'll say 2 people, 2 tags, 1 batch, and 2 stories, right? Just so we can see what that looks like. All right, that looks good. Let's run our GC command from where? We actually need another split pane here. We haven't needed 3 yet. That's first. But I want to leave these running. I don't necessarily need that. But I do want to leave these running. And I am going to add 1 more here. And we're going to do GC. That's our generate content command. Yep, we keep needing to install this. I don't know how this is being skipped. I actually don't know how that's being skipped. I feel like I'm doing something wrong right there. Because every time we download our code base again, we keep having to do this install. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that this generate content thing does not really exist. I don't know. All right, looks like we have our people, and it looks like it deleted all that other content. So it should do this. I don't know if we can one take this, but we might have just did 1 take on this. Got it right first try. So we're gonna head back over to the browser. Where is my browser? Okay, and we're gonna refresh our app because we know now that there's a bunch of new, well, not a bunch of new content, but hey, why do we still have so much content? That is not what I expected. Oh, maybe I don't have the thing that deletes the. Yeah, because we got cover images. Yeah, so it actually kept all that old content. I commented out the line that says delete the existing content. I commented that stuff out. So now we still have all that old content, but we also have our new content, right? That's what's important. So let's go look at this, like this page right here. Let's just go make sure in our app that that still looks good. I say still looks good. Let's go make sure it looks good. Yep, so we should have 2 different pictures, which we don't because we haven't coded that yet. But we're gonna put the smaller picture here and the other picture goes here. It's gonna look way better. So now we can go back to the IDE. We don't need to wait for this. Let's actually start pumping in content now. So we're gonna say give me 20 people, 20 tags, and we'll say 40 pieces of content. So 4 batches of 10, right? And let's just have that generating in the background in parallel to us writing the rest of our code. So now we need to go back into NextJS, right, our next application, and update the featured person card to also include the other image, right? So right here, we're using the same image twice. We need the cover image, which we're not getting right now, right? We didn't set up that query to give us that data. So we need to go into queries. And for the story person here, we're already getting the image details. Where's that? No, wait, I'm in the wrong place. It's going to be in the person query. Oh, so that I'm just telling it to give me everything. I guess we didn't project this at all, so that's fine. That means we have everything available to us already, so cool beans there. We'll just go back to the person bank, and since we can assume that we have all that information, not the person bank, sorry, person card, since we know we have that information, this is literally as simple as saying we know the bigger image here is the cover image, right? So all we have to do is change this to cover underscore image. And this also becomes cover image alt text, right? That should literally do it. If we go look at this new picture now, check it, right? We have a different image. Sorry, let's go back to our browser. We have a different image in the circle than we do in the background. And that should be the case for all of our people content now. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And we're generating a bunch of content right now in the IDE. You guys can't see that because I am a bad presenter, but we're generating a bunch of content in the background right now. We're gonna let that rock, give us some content to test with, and yeah, that should be good. Man, we are flying right now. I tell one of my good friends, when I learn new languages, I do have a bumpy start at first. But the more you run into issues when you're learning a new language, like never have a person tell you all the answers. Okay, what you want to do is you want to get like truly stuck. Okay, you want to like get stuck to the point where you can't figure out the answer to the problem yourself. And the reason you want to do that is because, yeah, eventually, let's say it takes you 3 hours. Eventually, you will solve that problem. There's never, ever, ever going to be a problem that you just cannot solve, okay? Period. Even if after a whole day, you concede and you go to that friend that has the answer, okay? Even if that happens, that still is you solving the problem. But here's what happens along the way, and this is why running into issues and learning a new language is so valuable. During the process of troubleshooting and trying new things with the language that you're having issues with, you learn a bunch of unrelated stuff along the way. Stuff that had nothing to do with the original issue, but are just fundamentally valuable things for this language. So, you know, you look at a bunch of stuff with ES6. Hang on, sorry guys. You look at a language like ES6, you learn a bunch of stuff there, right? But then you get stuck on something, and you don't know what's causing it. And during your trials and attempts to figure out what's happening, next thing you know, you've learned about 3 or 4 things in like base JavaScript that you never knew, just trying to solve an ES6 problem. Same with like think about TypeScript, right? Or React. Right? You're doing all this stuff to learn, to figure out a problem in React. Next thing you know, you've learned about all kind of TypeScript interfaces and class declaration and extending and things like that. Things that you aren't even familiar with at the time, didn't even know they existed or that you would need to know it. Now in your travels of trying to solve this other problem, you've learned so many other little things about unrelated things, right? That's how you get good at a language. That's how you're able to start breezing through some of this stuff as you go through it. All right, looks like we have some content now, thank God. let's go back to the home page. Let's start at our base experience. And we do have some content, right? We got some content. It's loading in. Kind of slow there, right? Kind of slower than we would like, but you know, moving and grooving. We don't have a story page yet. Oh, that's the last thing. I cannot wait for story. I can't wait. I'm so excited for story. Story is the one that really like gets my blood pumping. But now we know we have section pages. That's the one that we were already familiar with, but we have these people pages too. So we do have an issue here. Cover image doesn't have a property of photo. That is interesting. I could have sworn I named all of those the same. And where's that at? That's in the person card, TSX, yeah. So person cover image dot photo doesn't exist. Did I change that? I don't think so. It's an image element, and I know they all work the same. Yeah, they're both image elements, so they should have the exact same properties as one another. Oh, I know what it is. Not all of this is the new content. So we need to do something here that says to only render this like photo. We need to only render this photo conditionally. If this, because cover image, they all won't have cover images. They'll all have images, but they all won't have cover images. So what we need to do here is like, we need to do something like this. We need to be like that and then do the actual component, right? So, and that's where this goes. Right, it's like that. And then this is person dot cover image. Yeah, I think it's that. I think that's gonna clear the error. So yeah, now at least we don't have an error anymore. Something else is off there too. Oh, you know what? Cover image is actually gonna have to be required now that I think about it. That's like the whole featured art of the page. We can't not have a cover image. That's not gonna work. Did I not reply to that? Oh, yeah, I did. Boom, 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 boom. So you know what this means? We actually have to do this content generation the right way after all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go, sorry guys, 1 second. So hang on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna generate some new content. Because yeah, the whole thing would look fine if we were conditionally doing the person image, but it will never look fine if our entire banner doesn't exist. So we could always have a fallback image. We haven't done that yet. I don't think we will, since we're just generating dummy content, and this is a straight up let's learn as we go template. This isn't going to be for an actual client, so I think we're good. So that being said, the next thing we have to do is sorry, a little distracted real quick. The next thing we have to do is, let's do this. Let's take a break. I'm gonna set up this create content generator script to generate us a bunch of content so we can actually see this in action. And then we'll circle back at 9:20 to close off the night. All right, so let's go into our, where is it? Okay, create data. And we'll do a bigger batch than this. I think 40 stories was okay. Let's actually bump that to 60 stories. We'll keep the same amount of people. Actually, no, we'll do 30 people, 30 tags, and 70 stories, 80 stories, 80 stories, doesn't matter. And this time we'll uncomment out that line. There's a line of code that I intentionally commented out that is responsible for deleting all the fake content and creating new content. And this was me trying to prevent always scrapping the content that we generated. But in this case, we actually do want to scrap that old content because we've changed the data structure. Actually, Sanity, I read recently, Sanity has a migration path for this exact scenario, so that if you do introduce a new required field, that it's not breaking all of your old content. It's a really cool feature. So we're gonna say the script is ready to go. I think we've added everything we need. All we have to do now is, let's go ahead and kill these apps so we're not wasting throughput here. I'm gonna get rid of those first two, and then we can just do a GC here. And this is gonna run for a few minutes and we should be good. All right, I will throw on the BRB, go into be right back mode. See something real quick. I think I can make this be right back mode a little more interesting for y'all. I guess the only thing y'all will be able to see though is like, I guess the content. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna leave that up instead of the be right back screen. I'm gonna leave up the content migration script so that you guys can see the progress, and then yeah, I'll just be back to the stream here in a bit. All right. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Turn. Yo. Let's get back to it. Alright, looks like the content imported successfully. I love to see it, love to see that. Where's all my apps? I can't find none of the apps. Alright. There we go. Alright. So now that that's done, I think we just got two things that we got to do, right? First, we need to just confirm on the front end that everything works. Once we see that everything's working as expected, we can go ahead and push this ticket in, and then we can close out the stream. All right, hang on before I. Alright, there we go. Where's my webcam? Boom. Alright, now we're officially back online. Let's get it. So, we head back to the browser. We can just quickly validate this. Should be easy to validate. Back to the browser. Alright, and we are offline. So, let's start the app. Alright, now we'll go back to the browser and we'll see the damage. Alright. Alright, not bad. Not bad at all. I love this picture. This picture is dope. Sometimes they pull out some real dope, interesting pics, but not always. Let's go to the person page. Alright, so we got a nice, beautiful cover picture. Nice, lengthy description here, too. I love it. And then we got a nice little photo here to the left. Okay. And I mean, I think everybody should have it now, right? Look at that, all of these from the same person. Finally, we got a new person, Shauna Velda Ulrich. Where they come up with these names, I have no idea. It's so interesting. All right, I think we good. We're good to close this out. Looks beautiful. We got all three page types. Let's close these tickets out. Let's go ahead first. Start by closing our files, and then we'll go ahead and stage all these changes. Let's open a new note doc, right? So we always want to. Wait, what is this? I found in what is that? That was like an error. Hang on, we got an error we gotta solve real quick. Where did that come from? Was that an infinite scroll error? Yeah, let me see. Alright, hold on, y'all. I gotta put this order in real quick. Y'all ever heard of triple sec? I didn't know that was a real thing. I thought somebody was trolling me earlier when they had triple sec, but they was being for realsies. Alright, let me just put this in real quick. Priority delivery. Listen, y'all, whenever you ordering. What? Currently unavailable. Did I pick the wrong store? Normally they open like all night long. Alright, I think let's just do. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I chose the wrong store. I think. Hang on, did I? Wait, what are they talking about? Something is going on with this order right here. Yeah, you're gonna have to pick a different store. For some reason, this one is claiming that they... First, it say they'll deliver by 10. But then it's saying that they're not gonna deliver until tomorrow. So you gotta pick a different store. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and figure out if that error was legit, right? So I'm gonna start the app over, and then we'll go back to the browser, which you guys are in the browser. So let me just refresh this page and just kind of pay attention to my, I'll just keep paying attention to my, is that an actual error that we're seeing or what? I don't know if that's an error they're calling out, because in my compiler, I'm seeing like compile underscore error, but I'm not sure if it's legit. It don't look real. Like literally everything's working as expected. Everything's loading beautifully. Hang on, it might have something to do with the infinite scroll. Oh, I think it's the internet. Yeah, that it's just my local internet. Okay, that's fine. We can ignore it. All right, so what did we do here? We added a new cover image to the person schema. Let's just say content type. Updated. Well, actually, we created, right? We created the person section. That's it, right? We added new person variants for featured card, story bank, person query. That's fine. And then we added new queries for person and person stories. Yep, that's it. All right, let's go ahead and get this committed. Let's make sure we're on the right branch. I'm actually in the IDE. Let me bring you guys with me. Yeah, we're in the right one. So we'll go ahead and commit this to this branch. All right. So that's going to be git commit TR and D JNKEE. That's me. Friend Junkie creates person section page, or a section period. Doesn't need to say page. Page is implied. Go ahead and push that up. Head back to the browser. Hit up GitHub. Let's this code merged in. This time we will kind of slowly review. I'll get our notes added and we'll review the changes, make sure that we didn't do anything crazy or slip anything that we don't want in. Don't want to slip things that we don't want in. Not tonight. Let's see. All right, this is fine. I was gonna say we should keep this commented out, but that's okay. We'll leave that uncommented. Yeah, this is all of our person card stuff. This is fine. This is the person version of that card. Person bank. Yep, this is good. This is fine. I think this works. Yep. All right. So I think we're good here. I think one thing we could change about this, so for the stories, I don't know what we'll do with the featured video stuff. Oh no, we will use that. Never mind. Forget I said anything. I think we're good to go. Let's push this up. So we'll create the PR. Once we see that it's clean, we'll go ahead and get it merged. Confirm. All right, and that is it. So now let's come back over to Jira and we'll go ahead and close these out. We are officially done with everything but our story template. Albeit that's the hardest template we'll have to build. It's the last one we'll be building too. So we'll get to move on to a different web product after that. Maybe we'll do e-commerce. Maybe we'll do some Trello chat stuff. Who knows, right? We'll have to do something a little more advanced than what we did here. But I think this was a really good way to learn those three systems, at least to start. But we're not done yet. We still gotta. I think after this sprint, we'll still have one more sprint of work to do. So we probably still have another 3 weeks on this project. So we don't have to say bye too soon. Where the heck is my mouse? Aw, I think my mouse just gave out. Son of a bee. There we go. Had to restart it. So it keeps going out. Wait, how do you charge this thing? Oh, it's battery charged. Alright, let me go grab a battery real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. Alright, my bad. That was weird. Timing. But, how did I get here? How did I get back here? I was trying to do this last time. Oh, this is the wrong project. We are on Trend Junkie. Okay, here we go. So we can close these out. Done. And done. All right, well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to skedaddle and enjoy my weekend. I hope everybody else is about to do the same. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It goes a long way if y'all want to keep seeing content like this. Peace out, my guys and gals.